Hello, how you doing? I feel like I should be reading the news. And the news tonight is... hello, my name is Will Perry. If you haven't come across me, you should know that by now. Or maybe this is the first time. Hello, I'm Will Perry. So welcome to Keeping the Conversation Alive. Daily, Monday to Friday emails just to help keep the conversation of self-esteem going in your head consciously, because that's what you need to do. If you have low self-esteem and there's a test around the link here, you can take the test. It's really important. Anyway, I'll come to that. Being vegan isn't enough. That's what I want to talk about in this one, and it ties in with self-esteem. Everything I talk about ties in with self-esteem, directly and indirectly. So why am I saying being vegan isn't enough? Because being vegan is a big move. If you turn vegan, I applaud that. I think it's fantastic. It's about sustainability as well as cruelty. But before, I think in the past, it's been about perception that it's around cruelty to animals, which of course it is. But that was a fluffy, tree-huggy kind of woo-woo thing. Whereas sustainability, that's a hard, factual, irrefutable thing. And of course, that's what the thrust of Cowspiracy, Seaspiracy, and many other programs about how the systems, systemic farming systems that we have, are just appalling, but devastating the country, devastating the earth, the planet, causing all these issues, and also in the seas, our oceans, and they're due to be dead in 2048. In our lifetimes. So and I don't say that flippantly. If in our group, I've said it before, but in our group, I'm kind of creating a library of all these links to Netflix documentaries and YouTube videos to make it easy if you're just coming across this issue to go and digest this stuff, because it's quite shocking. Anyway, going back to vegan, but making the switch to something that's sustainable, i.e. plant-based diet, vegans, is a wonderful thing. It's an awesome thing. It's quite a big thing to do. Yeah, it's not. It's just changing your diet. That's not a big thing. However, for people with low self-esteem, especially, that's a big thing. Maintaining a consistent approach to their diet, maintaining consistent exercise can be very difficult for people with low self-esteem. It can be a tough thing anyway, but if you have low self-esteem, it's particularly difficult. And that's the let me no. Because we're generation trapped. That's what we're struggling with, these issues, but these are the kind of surface issues which we think are the real issues, but the real issue is the central one, this belief that we have, this mother of all beliefs. So we struggle with anxiety, depression. I mean, during the pandemic, the figures that come out, like 65% growth in divorce, in anxiety and depression, and the figures I've heard are astounding. The highest rate of medication for depression ever. We struggle with our weight. How many people joke about how much weight you've put on in the pandemic? I was going to say I'm the best, the fittest I've ever been, which I am. But that's not to go ha ha ha. Why not? No, I'm just teasing. But the failure rate, feeling like a failure, struggling with money because of your belief. It's all around feeling worthy, or i.e. feeling unworthy. Who am I? Who am I to do this? Who am I to speak out? Who am I to make a difference in this world? Who am I to feeling like your low worth is just the worst thing. It's awful. And that's all part of low self-esteem, but we don't see what's really causing it, and that's the mother of all beliefs. So being a vegan is fantastic, yet you can still do it and have low self-esteem. In fact, 80% of us, the estimates are around 80% of us have low self-esteem. So what's the problem with being vegan? That surely is the end goal. But for me, it's not enough. For me, being a vegan with low self-esteem is not enough. There's such a wasted potential. Being anything with low self-esteem is such a wasted potential. And I've just put a note here that meek. If you don't understand low self-esteem, like anything, you need to understand it first. If you don't understand what low self-esteem is, I put the word meek there. That came to me, and it's like, it's an uncomfortable word to be meek. Meek. Oh, that's an uncomfortable word, isn't it? But when you have low self-esteem, you're kind of meek. It doesn't mean you're not charismatic. You can be charismatic, in fact. You can be gregarious. You can be the life and soul, because it covers up what's actually going on the inside. Your facade, your game that you play, the face you put out to the world, that can be gregarious, the life and soul, all of that. But actually on the inside it's quite meek. It's a people pleaser. It's avoiding confrontation. It's trying to walk, because maybe you've grown up walking or treading carefully on eggshells, not to waken the beast. The beast might have been one of your parents, an alcoholic or an abuser or whatever it is. Whether it's a traumatic story or not a traumatic story. A trauma being, in the words of, well, not the exact words, but Gabriel Marte, the trauma can be anything that it's what you made of what happened, not what actually happened. So vegan on its own isn't enough. For me, that's not the end. And that's the problem I see, because I specialise and have done for a long time in this stuff, in what traps us, what makes us trapped. Being vegan doesn't solve the problem that we've created, we are a part of, with the world, with the desperate situation of the world and the oceans and the soil, the infertility of the soil, everything that us humans have done to the earth. We can change round, but it's going to take quite a lot to do it. And it's not going to be I'm preaching now, I'm sorry. It's not going to be, if you watch the documentaries, it's clear that it's not going to be the charities who are funded by the industries. It's not going to be the governments who are funding the industries and tied in with it, and the power and the corruption and all of that. It's not going to be that. It's going to be us. It's going to be us. So being meek is not what we need. We need to be more than that. And that's all around self-esteem. We need to be comfortable to engage in healthy conversation. I had a conversation recently. It was about The Game Changers. Awesome documentary. And I had this conversation. I haven't engaged in any conversation about being vegan, but this guy knew I was vegan. They were sitting down to lunch, so it was evident. And I said, I can't remember what, but in response to what he said, I said, that was really interesting. Have you ever seen this program? And it's like, this myth, dispelling this myth that we get protein from meat, when in fact the protein comes from the plants in the first place. So anyway, it was like there was this conversation that was easy, it was comfortable. And now I'm sounding like the people in network marketing. This is how to, rather than I need to talk to somebody, which isn't comfortable. It's about having a comfortable, relaxed, engaged conversation, a healthy conversation. And that's how I never felt in network marketing many moons ago. But I was having this engaged, comfortable conversation because I'm comfortable to have that conversation. It's not about being a boring, ram it down your throat, evangelist, that's the one, about whatever it is, about being vegan. It's not that. That's going to be boring. That's going to turn people off. So I'm getting a bit hot here. I've put this jumper on and it's like, whoo, it's a bit hot. Anyway, so forgive me. So we need to have this healthy level of self-worth, this healthy self-esteem ourselves, to be able to have comfortable conversations about the issues that matter to us. And if that's veganism and sustainability and what we need to do and how we can do it and what action we can take, and maybe have those conversations. It's like, Christ, so many people don't realise this stuff. It's like, wow. And that guy came back to me recently. He said, it's really quite interesting, that program, isn't it? I said, oh, cool. You only watched 15 minutes of it. That's cool. He's going to go back to the rest of it. And that's cool, not that he should or shouldn't, but, it's a comfortable conversation. But when you're meek, when you have low self-esteem, you can't have these comfortable conversations. I was remembering, just before I recorded this, I was just like, oh, yeah. I remember I was always the quite gregarious, but years ago, I'd always, if there was in a training situation and I was on a training as a manager or whatever at the BBC, I remember this sort of thing. If it was silent, if the tutor asked at the front, or the facilitator asked at the front a question, my hand would always go up first, because I'd hate the silence. It would kill me. It's like, oh God, poor them, they must be dying. Oh, nobody's saying, I'll say something. And then I'd die on the inside because I've spoken out, and I was like, oh my God, everybody's going to look at me and think I'm an idiot now. And I was like, oh, why did I say that? So next time I don't say anything, Can you relate to that? That's that whole low self-esteem thing. And to change the world, we need to get out of that frame of mind. And we absolutely can. Maybe we need to be activated, because the activists are showing the way. The activists are showing the issues, what needs to happen. The activists are making the documentaries. But we need to be activated. We need to be activators to put that stuff into action. And as meek people, even if we're vegans, we can't do enough. We can't say enough. So we need to have healthy self-esteem. And that's what I'm all about. And I'm putting a case forward to get healthy self-esteem for you and all vegans and all people. The 80% basically, if you have low self-esteem, it's no way to live, because it's an uncomfortable way to be. So my invitation to you is that life is too short. Maybe you know that. Maybe you've lost somebody that you love, be they old or were taken away too quickly. And maybe you know this person on my wrist. That's my sister, who died at the age of 36. So I'm well aware of mortality, and life can be very short, too short. So we only have that one life, and I know it's so easy and glib to say, but I'm more aware, perhaps, than many of the mortality of life. But still, you forget that. You can't live your life every day thinking, "Oh, I might die. I might die." That's not possible or appropriate. But living a meek life isn't a way to live. And I've battled this for the last 13 years, and how to help people, and I've been stuck myself, and I've found the way. And it's like, oh yes, let's I want to share this stuff. That's why I'm passionate and enthusiastic about it. That's why when I discovered Vegan Camp Out, which is in August this year, 2021, 21st to the 22nd, that weekend. I as soon as I saw it, it was like, wow, cool. The food aspect doesn't interest me so much. I'm a creature of habit with my salads and my stir fries. But the activists, it was like, I need to be there, and I'm going to contact them, and I want to get on that stage, and I want to share this story. Because this is the bit that's missing for me, that I don't see in anything, in any of these subjects. We need to be activated ourselves. If we have low self-esteem, we're just going to be meek with this, and the world needs something more than that. But our lives are worth more than that, and having a meek life, especially if it's involved with emotional abuse and being controlled by a partner. That's no way to live. And again, I've experienced that. It's all part and parcel of low self-esteem. So my invitation to you is to take steps to stand in your power. To stand in your power. And that means having healthy self-esteem, because you can only pass on to your next generation, to your kids, if you've got kids, you can only pass on the level of self-esteem you have currently. So if you have low self-esteem, and you grow to have healthy self-esteem, which you can absolutely do, then you can pass on healthy self-esteem. But you can't pass on healthy self-esteem if you don't have it. It's like teaching somebody to drive if you don't know how to drive yourself. It's like, duh, they know how to drive. I'm going to ask them. I'm not going to ask you. So a healthy self-esteem, you can only pass it on if you have it yourself. And if you don't have it, my invitation to you is to look at how you can get it. There's not many outlets that I know of, that providers, whatever you want, that really focus on the depth of this subject. And I've been very passionate about it for many years, because like many things that motivate us, I was so stuck in it. I wanted to overcome it. I'll stop there. I've probably been along 14 minutes, far too long, but it's a big subject. But that's why, for me, being vegan isn't enough. We need to do more. The world needs more. Many thanks. That's my invitation to you. Life is too short. Take the steps to stand in your power. Loves you, Boya. Bye-bye.